I'll go to Fahad Al Ismaili. Fahad, you've been an inspiration to all of us. Fahad is the founder and CEO of Tibiaan Properties. Uh, they have transformed in big scale over the last many years. Fahad, I know the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on the real estate sector. I know the recovery is sluggish, but how do you see the future?
Thank you, Nishad, and thank you for inviting me today here to speak about the real estate sector and share my views. Of course, as they always say, believe only 30% of what you hear. So all the introduction you made, I think I deserve only 30% of that. Anyways, it's a pity that we are seeing this new variant coming on board. We were hoping to end the year positively and enter 2022 in a positive way. But Alhamdulillah, as was announced last night by the Ministry of Health, that Oman has zero incidence of this variant. I hope it will stay zero, inshallah, until it ends. With regards to COVID-19 and the impact it had on the real estate sector, the real estate sector is dependent on volume of people or number of people. Supply and demand is the major player when it comes to prices, when it comes to occupancy levels, when it comes to healthy collection of rent. The simplest thing in real estate is all dependent on people. One of the major impacts COVID-19 had on the sector is the departure of expats. Of course, if we go into details into whom are those who export who left the country, we will see that the majority were blue workers rather than mid to high, but still new mid to high people whom are creating purchasing power could not come into the country for various reasons with regards to COVID situation, of course. Also, the online meetings and all that created a room for people to have those meetings overseas. Therefore, the less number of people, that was the major impact, that was the major factor that created this hiccup in the market. When it comes to landlords, landlords also are asking for their rentals because they are also backed with financial lendings, which they need to serve also with the bank. So it was a little bit complicated. There were some banks which did very good rescheduling of the financial facilities. However, the real estate industry investments it's a big ticket. It's not a small, villa purchase or an apartment purchase. When it comes to real estate investment, it's millions of reals are being invested. Therefore, even if you reschedule again and again, it will always have a positive hike on the interest rate, and that also do not serve the what do you call this? The yield, the returns on the IRRs. So it was a very challenging, but Alhamdulillah, it went through, and I think it was a good exercise that we went through, and now coming with this new variant. We are not in that shock experience as before, so let's look at the bright side a little bit. So the good thing is that we are looking into it, and we know how to deal with it. We know how to walk around it and use some of the techniques and tactical aspects that we used before. We did some measurements, and we took some measures which were wrong because it was a new experience back then, 2 years ago or less. But now I think any decision we take forward will have a good It all depends, as I said, on people. Alhamdulillah, the airline industry until now did not announce any any.
I'll be coming to Captain next.
So please don't stop your flights. We need people into the country. Yeah, that's what I can say.